former UK-British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has shown remorse for his cabinet's handling of the pandemic, but he stood firm behind his cabinet's handling of the coronavirus. From the UK, Ng Agila has the report.
Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has apologized for the pain, loss and suffering caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, but defended his government during a public inquiry into their handling of the health crisis.
My lady, can I just say how glad I am to be at this inquiry, and how sorry I am for the pain and the loss and the suffering
sit down.
Of
please stop.
COVID
Johnson.
victims.
Please sit down. Please sit down, or I'm afraid you'll have to leave the hearing room. Right, ushers, please, could you ask them to leave?
That I understand the feelings of these victims and their families, and I am deeply sorry for the pain and the loss and the suffering of those victims and their families.
Johnson arrived around 3 hours early for the proceedings, with some suggesting he was eager to avoid relatives of the deceased who had gathered outside the venue on the days he was set to take the stand. The former Prime Minister has faced a barrage of criticism from peers and former colleagues for his alleged indecisiveness and the sheer oblivious manner in which he disregarded the gravity of the situation. He famously came under fire for his lack of understanding during the pandemic. The former UK leader was forced out of office last year over his antics, including lockdown breaching parties held in 10 Downing Street, which he apologized, yet breached multiple times, citing that his cabinet was doing their best. Johnson, whose lengthy written submission to the inquiry will be published imminently, insisted his government's priority had been to protect the state-run National Health Service. He repeatedly rejected statistics that Britain fared worse than European neighbors with the outbreak, while noting that the UK is among the continent's most densely populated, with a high elderly population, which was his primary reason for such a high death toll. Nearly 130,000 people died with COVID in the UK by mid-July 2021, one of the worst official per capita tolls among the Western nations. Ng Agila, United Kingdom Bureau for Ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.